Hi, I'm Rosie Soul. I'm the lead singer for the band Rosie Soul and the Rock and Roll Cowboys. For the past 3 years, we've had the privilege of being able to go out and play all around our hometown, Richmond, Virginia, also the state of Virginia, and on to other states around the East Coast. And we have had so much fun. We've gotten to meet so many of you guys, and the thing that I've noticed is that you guys continually, generously bless me by sharing yourself with me. And so I kind of figured out that now I would like to share myself with you. So the thing that I have to give is that I'm going to tell you my story. I haven't always been Rosie Soul, and so I want to tell you the story about how that came to be. All right, we're going to start at the beginning. When I was a little kid, I was this shy, very serious, like fat little kid. And whatever grown-ups told me, I mean, I took everything very seriously. I wanted to follow the rules. I did not want to get in trouble. I took religion very seriously, all of that. And so about the age of about 8, all of a sudden I discovered that I could sing. It was like the voice just kind of appeared there, and so I shared it with my mom, and I sang in a little talent show, and soon after that I had little gigs where I was doing one-woman shows just using like background tapes. So it was just me in the audience, and it was terrifying and not entirely enjoyable because I was so shy. I was just this little shy, insecure girl, but I did it because I did like singing. The talking part was always more difficult than the singing. But so I started doing those shows, and then after a while, about age 11, there was a guy who saw me at one of those shows and asked me to come start singing, doing demo work in Nashville. So I started doing that, traveling back and forth, and loved that. Studio work was awesome. I really loved that. And then they started talking about maybe shaping me toward being an artist. And that began the discussions about me as in reference to being a product, which I understand how that goes. But that was hard. That was about when I was about 12 or 13, still shy, insecure little fat girl. But anyway, so about 14 or 15, I had some singles released, and they charted and stuff, and it gave me the opportunity to go to radio stations. We used to do that. You would go to the radio station and give them your record. And so I did that and got to do interviews and stuff, you know, terrifying, but at that point I was starting to get a little bit used to it. So I did that throughout, started working with publishing companies as a writer, started writing songs. And this was all in country music. I'd always wanted to do rock and roll, of course, secretly, but loved country. I was raised on country by my folks, so that's what we were doing at the time. So got through high school, and when I got to the end of that, I was trying to decide what to do as far as like college and stuff, and I got an opportunity to write with Reba McEntire's publishing company in Nashville. So I decided to go to Middle Tennessee State and study recording stuff there and work with the writing thing there. So when I did that, this was my very first meeting with the world, really, because my folks very lovingly had tried to shelter me. There's major things happening in the sky. Had tried to shelter me. Okay, my folks had tried to shelter me from pressures because they knew I already had a lot of pressure going on. So anyway, so I got to Middle Tennessee State and really did not know what to do with myself because I had never, you know, really gone out and done these things on my own. I'd always had help. And I started to, in my insecurity and, you know, fear and stuff, I started to notice how awful humans can be to each other. And it got so that that's what I saw everywhere, and I could not believe it, that this is what the world is like. And so that's where I started to become kind of fully depressed. I started having depression happen. And then after that, a series of events happened that I'm just going to take you through them, okay? Me and some friends were walking to a party, and we got held up at gunpoint, gun to the face kind of thing. And then right after that, I had a date rape situation happen. And at that point, I started to feel like I am not cut out for this. Prior to that, I kind of started getting the idea that I needed to it was the idea of if I could just kind of make my heart really hard and kind of, you know, stone-like, then I could maybe be able to make it through this without shattering to pieces. But anyway, those things happened, and then finally I just called my mom and I said, you know, Mom, I got to come home. I hadn't been really doing anything with the music. All of these things had happened. I needed to go home. So of course she said, yes, come on home. So I did, and then soon after that, once I got home a few weeks in, immensely depressed and starting to have anxiety things. And a few weeks after I got back, I found out that I was pregnant as a result of what had happened in college. And I had an abortion. And after that, that is where my, I just pretty much, I broke. And anxiety was so high that I figured I was just nuts, and that no one on earth is ever going to understand what I'm going through. There's no way possible anyone would get this. And so I became suicidal, and I again went to my sweet mother and asked her to put me somewhere, anywhere that I won't hurt myself. And so she did. And so I went into a mental facility, and I was there, well, about a week and a half. And what happened there, this was a good turning point. Because when I got there, I looked around me, I met all of these people. It taught me a few things. One, people can absolutely relate to what's happening with me, because lots of times they have way worse stuff going on. I met very interesting people that just, you know, hanging on by a thread. And I also realized that maybe this is not where I belong. And that if I'm not going to die, because I'm not going to kill myself, I don't think that I'm going to lay down and just stop breathing. So I've got to figure this out. So about a week and a half, I came out of there and with a new thing. And that was that I don't think therapy is going to solve this. I don't think that medicine is going to solve this for me. If this is going to get any better, I have to do this. So I started reading everything I could get my hands on, and went into hiding. And I started packing on tremendous amounts of weight, and just pretty much made myself as reclusive as possible, because I got to figure this thing out. Finally came to the point where I realized that I needed to clean slate everything that I've been believing, you know. So I continued to read, and I stumbled onto a book called Conversations with God. And in this book was the first time that I had ever come across the idea that the way you think creates your experience. Thoughts create your reality. The minute that I read this, it grabbed a hold of me, and it was revolutionary, this idea that, because it meant these things. It meant that I was not a victim. I was not the object of some kind of mess being done to me. That I had the power to change it, because I was the one doing it. And that not only could I change it, I could make it something incredible. So that led to the thing of, okay, it's your thoughts doing it, it's your, you know, you're doing this yourself. How do you change that? It seemed nearly impossible. So I spent, in a nutshell, I spent the next 13 or so years trying to figure out that mystery. And I did, kind of. It's a work in progress. But I grew and grew and grew and grew, and continued to read and continued to get in touch. Sorry about the microphone. Get in touch with my own self. And the clean slate thing, that was essential. But anyway, so through all of that, about 2008, I decided that there was a point where my mind had changed enough to where I'd gotten up to 284 pounds and completely hiding, completely camouflaged. And I decided that I could not be invisible anymore. I didn't want to hide anymore. I wanted to, this was the exact thought, I do not want to go to my deathbed and realize that I have not lived at all, or that I have lived cowardly, that I've not had any courage to just be who I am. So that started another transition, and eventually, here I am. So in the coming videos, I'm going to talk more about that, about how that transformation happened, and share with you guys some things that I learned, and maybe what I'm still working on, because it's always, you know, we're always expanding. So still growing, still working on stuff. So, all right. So that is my first offering to you. If you guys want to talk about any of this, is there something that you relate to or whatever, please contact me, let me know. I love all of that, because, you know, us connecting is what this, everything is about. All right? You're perfect exactly like you are right now. All right? So go have some dance.
It's time to burn the